Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I joined that in like 2000 at a
Wow.
time when I was getting my coaching certification with Coach U.
Yeah.
And that was when Thomas Leonard owned it. He passed away shortly after.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've done some courses. They've asked me to teach some courses along the way, and got a note from Dave saying you might want to think about coming to this, blah blah blah. And it was one of those times where I just went, yeah, the dates are open for me. I'm going to go check it out.
Mm.
That's how it happened.
Yeah. 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 And you
I'm
jumped.
usually way more like, how would I put it, almost discerning about what I'm going to pick to go to because of time. But
Yes.
for some reason, that just really worked out. So,
And this was the Vegas one, right?
no. Wait, yes,
Yeah.
it
Vegas.
was.
Yeah.
It was Vegas. Yep,
Okay. Very cool. And then you jumped straight into Platinum Elite, I think, right?
I did.
Is that with Andrea or with Lisa?
It's with Lisa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. She is a fireball of ideas.
She's phenomenal. She's really the first person I've run across in my, let's just say, path to having a mentor that not only gets it, but kind of can speak the language, put it all together, so to speak, right? And do it in a way that definitely is beyond, what I can do. And normally I'm on the other side of that. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
So it's been really good. Yep,
Got it. And so you're coming up to a year then this fall.
I am. Yeah.
Coming up to year 3 this fall.
Wow. See, I think I'll just give you my opinion. I think the ecosystem within Lisa's stuff is better suited for like people like yourself versus me and others I know that are B2B. Like, and I mean like corporate B2B.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, they tried to separate, at the retreat, they tried to separate people into tables rather than small group into industry. So there was entrepreneurs and healers, and then there was corporate B2B. And there was 6 or 7 people at that time that were on that table. And I remember thinking, should I be on that table or this table? Because I do a lot of both.
Yeah.
And I know it's funny, interesting. Most of the people on that corporate B2B table didn't renew. So yeah. It's not there's anything bad. It's just they didn't.
No, it's not bad. It's just like in my small group, it's I get a lot of, gosh, I don't know how to think like that corporate CEO or that,
Yes.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
a lot of Lisa's good, really good, but a lot of the folks in my group just have a hard time giving me relevant feedback because admittedly it's not their, yeah.
I 100% put my hand up to that one too. I mean, my small group when I first joined was painful. And I felt I was the only one giving advice and nobody could really help me. And it's like, I thought I came here to get.
Right.
So that's why they created, and I didn't have the money for 3 years ago to join straight into PE. Now, I remember saying to Lisa, Journey, I said, I'm platinum for now. And she said, I like that. So anyway, I decided to join Advanced, and because they literally created Advanced around my complaints about having a measured tier that was people who are much more further down the road than a lot of people were. And that's actually been really good. And obviously there's a significant cost saving, which was really helpful for me at the time. And it was much more like-minded people, not necessarily in the same industry as me, but the same level of decision-making in their industry. So that was a shrewd move on their part because I don't think I would have renewed otherwise. Super glad I did. Because I've now leveraged Lisa's model a lot more. Have I? I hear exactly what you're coming for. And I think Andrea J. Lee definitely added a different level of professionalism to the training too.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, she, I watched her arrive and which was pretty much the end of my first year. And the second year that she was there, my goodness, I think Sassy is a lot more grounded in the training areas than I think it was the first year I was there. So it's a lot less woo and a lot more do. And that's probably a good phrase to use, actually. But no, I'm very happy. But I live. I mean, I teach a lot of entrepreneurs how to be more corporate, and I also work in B2C. So I literally have a foot in both camps pretty much every day with the clients that we have, and also the kind of clients I try to attract. Typically, are business owners or in corporate that need online marketing help, and just knowing how to navigate the social media landscape is not something they're comfortable with. They're very comfortable at formal meetings and presentations and face-to-face, but the world's gone global. And to be found online credibly and to keep sort of spanning out your expertise, you need that online piece. And that's been a big part of our workload too. So it's
good.
So I was looking at, I looked at your LinkedIn, I looked at your website.
They're disconnected.
Yes, they are.
Because I updated my LinkedIn more recently.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm not super interested in attracting more one-to-one coaching clients like I built my whole business on. Yep. Because I have no time. Now with Lisa Cherney's coaching, I've actually gotten rid of a few of them. I've got a client that I've had 13 years. I have another client that I've had 9. I mean, the tenure of my clients is just crazy. I don't have anybody under 5 years.
Wow.
Okay. So they trust me a lot. I'm very, very integral in their businesses. There's barely a piece of operations that I don't touch, is how I would put it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I understand business at a very deep level, including, business financials and how to read financial reports and make decisions from them. And, but my pedigree is sales.
I like that. Yeah.
And I extend that into sales leadership.
Yeah.
And that's the horse I've picked to ride for leverage.
Yeah.
So the website you saw, I'll just keep out there because it's kind of a business card. That's about it. But I had my assistant working on one that I can't put my finger on it. It's okay. I use Lisa Cherney's template. I just don't like it.
Is it published?
No, but I could send you the link.
Please do, yeah.
Because I think I was telling you at the event, like the copy is for the most part there. I've collaborated with Lisa on that.
Yeah, I remember saying.
So this gets more into 2 things. One would be just aesthetics, graphic design, it needs help.
Yeah.
And 2 is more on the functionality side. Kim, my assistant, she knows how to code actually.
Yeah.
But she's admittedly terrible at graphic design. And she knows nothing about really what, you and I would define as the digital world and kind of all the moving parts related to that.
Yeah.
So the functionality piece has more to do with that. She's certified in ClickFunnels. We chose not to put it on ClickFunnels simply because I didn't want to be tied to them.
So is it in WordPress?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a GoDaddy design she used, which once again I'm not married to it. It's fine. It's okay, but it's not like wow. Do you want me to go in my email and pull that up?
Please do. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Yeah.
Because give me a second here.
And I'll show you something that we're working on right now for somebody in your space.
Okay, that'd be good.
I'll just bring that up as well. The internet is slow in this area today. Which I do have about.
I'm just going to put it in the link in our Facebook message. There.
Let me just find what I'm looking for. To my downloads. It's not a live website. It's a Photoshop PSD right now.
Okay.
So let me just. No, that's the worksheet that goes with it. There we go. And that's version 1. Okay, I need version 2. 1 second. I don't think I downloaded it. Version 2, there we go. Okay, let me look. Oh, there you go. The High Producer Sales Playbook. Like the J. It's hard, it's hard to find a good J. I know that for sure, from experience.
Yeah, I bet you would. Yeah, I had somebody on Fever actually do that for me a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me can we go back to Zoom?
So do you see what I mean? It's like.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. It's okay. Let me show you. Might be a little.
What would I like? Because she wants feedback from me. She totally gets it. She's not like defensive or like. What would you use as a 1-sentence critique of what's wrong?
It's very flat.
Yes. Okay.
There's no depth to it. There's very little energy. I'll be brutal. I mean, probably the content is good. I'd like to see what it looked like on mobile, because my guess is that it wouldn't come over as well on mobile because it's not segmented very well. Yeah, I'm a big fan of not using stock photography, and the more I can see pictures of you with CEOs and VPs in their setting, the more I resonate. Because as soon as I see stock photos like this, you know, the gender neutral development picture. Let me share my screen so I can I can show you what I'm pointing to. 1 second. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's fairly flat. As I say, the picture of you is gorgeous. I mean, I've seen that picture in the Sassy book. It's beautiful. The High Producer, I mean, that orange and the gray, I mean, she's really onto something there with that graphic, but then we're bringing in blue. So and that could be part of the palette, but High Producer Jennifer Hines, it's hard to quite see the second N and the R in that logo, so it's a little harder to read. But it's kind of, I mean, it's okay. It's just, it's a GoDaddy template. It's 3 columns. It's some stock photography. There's not really a strong call to action. I mean, I can get schedule now, but it's not like jumping out at me. Just give you an idea. This is my speaker site, which is not finished. It's in my Sassy world good enough. But straight away you can see how much it pops out.
Oh yeah.
And you know, looking for your next speaker. Look, so a strong call to action, strong visuals are all me speaking. It's very much what I'm known for and my brand. So some video about who I do, what I do. Lots of examples who I've spoken for. I mean, this isn't my business site, but this is who I've spoken for, how I can help people. Lots of social media, obviously, because that's what I'm teaching, upcoming events that are happening, and the blog.
Yeah, I love it.
So there's a lot there. This is one that we have just, I don't know if you know Donna. She's in Sassy too.
She looks familiar.
Yeah, she's third year sassy as well, I think. Or did she just? I think she just retired, but she was at the Fort Lauderdale event. Anyway, Donna is she mentors women at C-level suite in the tech world, and Donna's in her. I think that's she doesn't mind telling it. She turned 60 July 1st, I think it is, or July 2nd. And this is something her career that she loves to do. And she was in corporate, and now she's coaching. So this is just a mock-up of her site. She already had the logo done by Stacey Canfield some time ago, and she loves to snowboard. So she spends most of her winter in either Aspen or Vail, and most of her summer in Florida. So we try to tie in her passions, and now you can see just how that how the color of depth just really jumps out.
Yeah. Yep.
So at this point, I mean, we just put some stock pictures in because we're still making this. I want this to be a picture of Donna speaking, but we're not quite there yet. But this is what our program is called, and there's a lot of time and effort just again gone into this, types of client that she works with, and there she is in her snowboard gear, 3 products, and yeah. So when this goes to mobile, it's equally strong on mobile as it is on desktop. And so obviously it's got a sidebar because this is out of my Dropbox right now. So if we think of that, and then we think of what did you where was that link you just sent me here? See what I mean?
Yep.
So straight out of the gate, I think I know, it's depth really, and then content. So, and then the main thing for me going forward is exactly this, like how we tell story. This sidebar is not too bad actually, because this is very strong real estate. So, and you've got your
that video, by the way, is super old. It was from, gosh, I think I was still an action coach. My assistant just put it there for a kind of a placeholder.
Yeah, that's fine. No, and that's exactly what it's for. So nothing wrong with that at all. But yeah, no, that's yeah. Quite often the hardest piece is getting the content together, and if you can get the content and the flow together, then we can definitely help complete that.
I think I'm 80% there with content.
Yeah. Okay.
Certainly homepage is there.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm open to critique. So
yeah. No, the content looks good. I mean, I as I said, I'd love more real pictures of you working, or we could simulate them. So like with Donna, she said, the last thing I want is a boardroom picture, because I've seen so many boardroom pictures, and yes, it's where I work, but it's not how I work.
Yeah.
So in the end, I said, we're going to have a page called Welcome to Donna's Boardroom, and it's going to be all her snowboards.
Cool.
Because she has this room that she waxes them up at that place in Vail or whatever it is, and it's just like, wow, okay, now that's cool. Because it's bringing out her personality, and what we need to do is to go deep on your personality and then bring that out. So whatever it is that you love to do, and it could just be being a grandma, is a very good personality trait to have, because you've got that. I mean, I always say to people, my best asset is probably my English accent and my gray hair.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I've been around a long time. But then, you met Debbie. I mean, part of my story is how long we've been together and what our children are doing. And a lot of those are hiring factors when people consider me. Because when it's like when you're coaching with somebody long term, you really get to know them, what's and all, and everything about the family. So I always start with like, well, this is who I am. Do you think you could work with me? And so often the skill set and the personality are hand in hand sometimes.
Yeah.
Given that it's a given that you know what you're doing. A lot of nice people there who really don't know what they're doing, but that's another story.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's now. You mentioned you were talking to Jim at Visify as well.
I reached out to him a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what Sassy told me to talk to him, so I did. And I wouldn't have even pulled you aside at the last event if I was convinced they were the right ones for me. And I think they're great people. So but I really feel they're more orientated toward the entrepreneur with Facebook being their lead horse, so to speak.
Yeah.
And Facebook, you know, as much as anybody can argue with me that everybody's on Facebook, my target market is not hanging out on Facebook.
No, they have no
They're
time.
just not.
Yeah. There are the halves, maybe a little bit, but probably not them.
Right. So that's where I'm just like, I don't know that that's the right pathway for me.
I mean, it's probably number 3. If I was to choose platforms for you, I'd go LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook.
Yep.
Possibly Instagram if your assistant had time to help you with that, because it takes a bit of work. I wouldn't go down the Twitter route.
No.
Well, I mean, I would and I wouldn't. The people that are doing really well on Twitter have been doing really well on Twitter since 2009-10. Trying to break into it today, it's great for research, but I have yet to see anybody succeed in Twitter in the last 2 or 3 years new without a massive amount of backup help. Because for Twitter to work, you've got to be on it 20 times a day. And
Right.
You either live on Twitter or you don't, and most people don't. So as I say, if you were brought up with a Twitter module and it became second nature to you, like texting.
Yeah.
But
well, I'll tell you what, before even our last Speak to Sell event, I had in my head that I think I would really like to have a podcast because
really? Yeah.
I just do my best work ad lib. You know, if I were in a podcast doing Q&A and interviewing, but mainly Q&A where people knew they could ask Jen, and everything is really focused on strategic conversations that convert.
Yep.
That's when I shine. When you come on and you go, okay, here's my issue. I do a great job up to this point in a conversation, and then blah, 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 or whatever. But that's when I can start asking questions and really and pretty quickly go, here's where we need to be, or here's what you need to do.
Yes.
And so, and I've always said that part of my brain is hard to leverage, in my opinion, because I don't know how it does it. It's something I'm good at.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where, I'm a little more camera shy, but to be on a podcast.
Okay. For now. Yeah.
So I did sign up for that course, not because I got sucked into the aura of the moment, but it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And I gave myself permission not to even start it because I'm in the middle of another course that it has nothing to do with the business. It's all around personal finance, that I'm doing a beta. I'm one of the beta participants. And that's over next week. So anyway, podcasting with the intent that I would add a lot of value for people that need to get better at selling face-to-face.
Totally would, yeah.
And second, that it could also end up being a lead generator for me.
Oh, completely, yeah. I mean, I didn't sign up for the hype. I mean, I've known John Lee Doom, or followed him for probably 3 or 4 years, and truthfully, I wasn't that impressed by him, and I was kind of surprised that Lisa was bringing him, and I went, maybe there's something about him I don't know, and there was. I didn't know he had military service, and the way he told his story was quite excellent. Obviously, he and Lisa are coached together, but I was much more impressed live than I had been what I'd seen him online, because he seemed a little bit of a Yahoo to me, and always in his best, in the sun with his unshaven sunglasses, and it's like, not my kind of guy. But anyway, in this instance, I was very impressed, and I almost started a podcast like 4 years ago, no kidding, and I registered it. I got some interviews together, including Gary Vaynerchuk, and I just never did it. I just didn't have the capacity to do it, and because I was doing so many things, and I was still on a high growth curve with the income, so I shelved it. And every summer, it's like, okay, is this the fall that the podcast is going to happen? And for 2 years, it's been like, yeah, no. And then when I saw this, I went, you know what? We have enough team now that could help me do this. I'm going to do it because I've run a meetup for like 10 years almost. No, 8 years. And I'm just closing that down because it's not serving me very well and it's a lot of work. And this will be a replacement to my meetup so I can help more people. Funny enough, I do something every Thursday morning for my clients. It's called Virtual Coffee, where I host an open Zoom for anybody who's in my program for an hour every Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. And I literally do that Q&A where anybody's got any issues with what I teach. And then I typically get 12 to 14 people every week, which is kind of like a podcast live.
Yeah, yeah.
And people they can't wait for Thursday to answer, to get hold of me.
Yeah.
Everybody else learns from that forum too. And it works. It'll work great for you. That's exciting. That's very exciting.
Yeah. So I set, you know how you had to answer when you wanted to start your podcast? I put mine for September 15th.
Good.
And it's out that far because, as you know, I have my first grandchild coming in 6 weeks, and I'm going to take 2 weeks off and just help my daughter post-delivery.
Yeah.
So we don't know the date for that, but I just wanted to give myself enough space so that I'm giving the attention that I want to both things.
Yeah. My goal, because we launch a new program mid-September, so my goal is to launch the podcast, ideally, I'm always cautious of saying a date, but mid-August. My daughter gets married in July.
Oh, congrats.
In Europe. So that's kind of, she gets married twice. She's getting married, officially she's getting married in England this coming Friday, which I'll be there. But her wedding ceremony is in the south of France a couple of weeks later. And she can't actually get married in France because you have to live there for 2 years, and she doesn't. She lives she lives on a private yacht as part of the cruise, so she lives anywhere, wherever the owner chooses to go.
Got it.
Works for Europe's youngest self-made billionaire. So
cool.
It's pretty interesting. So the wedding is part of it, and then we decided if we're going to go to Europe, we're going to stay a bit longer. So my goal is to have that time in Europe to complete everything, providing I get internet access, so that we launch the podcast before we launch our next social media bootcamp, and then use the podcast to follow along the bootcamp so that when I sell it again in the spring, I should have built up a much bigger following. So yeah, I'm almost concurrent with you on the date. So
cool.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. Yeah, that'd be fun. And something I've meant to do for a long time. I've done other things instead, but it's time.
Yeah, I agree. I thought about it forever. I think I thought about it before there was such a thing as podcasting. I was thinking about gosh, is there a local radio station I could do this on and attract local business owners, to listen into. So I've been playing with this in my head a very long time.
Yeah, there may well be. There's a lot of business radio channels now. That you could either start one or certainly become a guest. We've just taken another member of our team who specializes in PR. And her and I are meeting together for 2 days, June 20th, 21. First of all, to put my social media on the PR web, which I haven't done particularly well. And second of all, to bring that expertise to our clients so that people say, I have this and I need to be on Fox News or I need to be on Ellen. How do you do that?
Yeah.
She's been a PR professional for 16 years. She's worked for several premiers, if you like, or governors of states. We have premiers of provinces here. And she's very politically savvy, as well as she worked for BP when they had the oil spill in the Gulf. She was their main, I wouldn't say spin doctor, but main PR consultant.
Yeah.
Very excited for Susan. In fact, we're in the middle of rebranding her too and her website. So
very good.
So yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, so you want to get everything going pretty quick to tie in with all of this, right?
I really do. Not to mention, I would like to know that my website and let's say my ability to start creating some inbound leads was happening before I take off a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Because Jonathan, traditionally, I haven't had to invest a lot in creating leads because the amount of work I do with a single client, my capacity has always been somewhere around 15 clients. And I am like bonkers with 15 clients, right?
Gosh, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
So I haven't spent $1 on marketing since 2009.
I love it.
And prior to that, so between 2000 and 2004, I mainly did local seminars and would attract, say, 20 business leaders, and I've never done one without signing a client, right? So that's what I would just turn that on.
Yeah.
And then
the action coach model was very much, around that, right?
Yes. I left them in 2009.
Okay.
And then shifted from small business to mid-market and getting more into the sales department. Okay. So there was a shift in my business model. But the fact is that a lot of the clients I've attracted along the way, while they've been phenomenal coaching clients because I do all operations of the business, they're not fitting so nicely into the new model, the high producer sales playbook, because many of them just don't have enough salespeople. They're not turning the sales department. They're not hiring new people. So yeah, they're just, I have to just attract different organizations that are typically going to have no less than 6 salespeople and upwards of, 50 possibly.
Got it. And then would you train them virtually or would you physically go there?
Well, let me explain my kind of the feeder pool here.
Yeah.
And by the way, once I get into a strategy session with somebody, they may have called me because of the hiring playbook, but really the best place to start would be a Salesforce evaluation. But here's the way it would work. My marketing would focus on eliminating bad hires.
Yes.
People who say they can produce but don't, okay? And I have some pretty compelling messaging and tools for that. If somebody has to hire between, say, 1 and 3 salespeople in the next 12 months or more, meaning more salespeople, what I'm looking for them to invest in is a VIP day with me where they get the entire hiring process, and it is a full day. I teach them how to write much more compelling and attractive job postings. I teach them how to vet resumes to get out the fluff. They get a 1-year unlimited license to run sales assessments, which have 95% predictive validity.
Wow.
All the way through to the 90-day onboarding process, okay, and everything in between.
Yes.
So it's $16,000 for the VIP day, which includes a 3-person unlimited license for the year. If there's more than 3 but less than 10, there'd be another $2,500 on top of that. So it just depends on the quantity of people that have to get hired. Okay. So it's definitely high ticket, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what happens is somebody ideally is compelled to click on whatever lead magnet, find out more about how to predictively hire top talent for their sales department, high producers.
Yeah.
We get in a strategy session, and maybe what I learn is they only need to hire 1 person this year, but they're really, really frustrated with the existing team they have, and they feel like there are probably people that need to go, but they just haven't had the compelling data to support. I mean, yes, sales numbers say something, but in so many ways there can be other intrinsic value on the team. Maybe they're the best tech person they have, even though they're not a great closer. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, now my solution would shift to a Salesforce evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me just go back. and say this. If somebody does my VIP day and we're looking for top producers for them, what I'm very good at is finding the right time when I have a conversation with the sales leader and I go, all right, you've seen what we can do in attracting and hiring top talent. What about your existing team? And so I would tell you statistically, it is very plausible that 50% of the people that would take me up on a VIP day and pay for the hiring process will also take me up at some point for a sales evaluation of their existing sales force. Okay. And then the beautiful thing is, now that they have this information, here's the diagnostic. Here's why you have, too many opportunities stuck in your pipeline for months on end. Here's why you're not closing more business. Here's why you have people selling at low margins and so forth.
Yeah.
Once I have that data, guess what they now want from me? Training.
Yeah.
So end to end, Jonathan, if the client I brought in for the VIP day does the other two things, it's $100,000 client when you put it all together.
Nice.
And the way I conduct training is a combination. So I'm very, very, I advocate being in person with people because once again, I do role plays and I do a lot of things like that are highly interactive that just work better in person. But what I would do is I would spread those out. So we'd probably have a 2-day boot camp each quarter. And then there could be webinars in between. So I customize that end of it.
So would the boot camp and the webinars be leveraged, or would it just be for them? Would there be others as well?
No, it'd just be for them. Because a 2-day boot camp, I've been charging 10 grand for. So I do 4 of those in the year.
Okay. Nice.
So that's the feeder system, right? But they could end up in a strategy session. I would rarely do training without the diagnostic.
No.
And I'm pretty effective in positioning that. So the only time I've done training without a diagnostic is when somebody else has recommended me and there's an urgent need now for something very specific. Like help us develop, our sales process or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's, the horse I've chosen to ride, and it all kind of integrates together. Is that can you see that, or is it?
I absolutely see that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm writing it down, but yeah.
Now I will tell you, historically, it is much easier to cast a net with how to hire
Yes.
sales talent than it is to go, here I am, let me evaluate your existing team and tell you what your training needs to be.
Yes, because they need to know who you are and trust you first with your
Yeah.
And then once the trust is there, they come back for more. Yeah.
Correct. And if you just go on LinkedIn and look at articles, there's a ton out there from, Fortune, even 100 companies to recruiters who write on the topic that it's really hard to find top sales talent.
Yeah.
So it's a more pressing need, and that's why I've chosen to lead with that from a marketing position.
Yeah. Got it.
Now, I will tell you right now, my thought is my podcast won't be centered in this area. I don't think. And if I'm candid and truthful about it, I'm much more passionate about teaching people how to sell one-to-one.
Okay.
I love to do that. That's my whole strategic conversations that convert. And I have a methodology for that. So someday that will become an online course. That's phase 2.
Love it. Yeah.
But I'm thinking I could have fun with that in a podcast and start building a following so that when the course is ready, I've got a following.
Have you listened to a lot of podcasts already?
I wouldn't say a lot. I started listening to John's. There's two others that are more in the, like I call it personal development space. For fun, I listen to The Goop. Are you familiar with that one? It's Oprah Winfrey and Gwyneth Paltrow, and they just touch on very random topics. So that's the one that it's not a brain.
Yeah.
I just enjoy it. So, but not a ton. It's typically when I'm driving that I listen to.
There's one that comes to mind, and it's actually retired now, but it's still online. It's called the Mad Marketing Podcast. And the fellow who wrote it, his name is Marcus Sheridan, and I know him quite well. And he ran maybe 130 episodes and then sold his company and just skyrocketed with his company. But his specialty was business storytelling through SEO. So really getting found online through blogging, but in such a way that Google really picked it up. And he had to do it for himself in 2008. He had a pool company in Virginia, and they were bankrupt. And he had no money left. And what money he did have on his credit card, he spent on a program called HubSpot. And he learned how to do some lead generation and realized that for him, the best kind of lead generation had to be spoken. So he started making some video and putting that spoken word into blogs and lead pieces on his website.
Yep.
And within a year or so, he turned his business around. Within 2 years, he got picked up by the New York Times just because this model was working so well for him. And his website now averages over, it's called River Pools and Spas, which he still owns.
What's it called?
River Pools and Spas. I'll send you some links.
Okay.
I'll send you all the links to I've been to his workshops now. He's a good friend. But anyway, his podcast totally, and what he would do is he would just ask questions and then people would email him, and then every other week he'd bring all those emails and say, so I had a question from Jonathan about how do you leverage LinkedIn when really you don't have a lot of time to write, and then he'd just spend 15 minutes talking about somebody's specific issue. And it was almost like you were sitting in a coffee shop with him, like just like this. His style was so local and friendly. He's a Mormon guy. He's got a wife. I think they have 5 children. He'd done some missionary work in Paraguay. He has some great stories, which he always sort of brought into life as well. But at the same time, he was a hard-nosed sales guy. But he had to learn SEO to be able to leverage his business. And then he ended up teaching SEO to many, many big companies, including like Discover Card and a lot of huge clients. And then sold his business for like a ridiculous amount of money. He still consults. And he still has this pool company. His pool company merged with because they just built in Northern Virginia, Arlington, Washington area. And now they're part of a consortium that builds right across North America. So the guy is creaming it in. It's fantastic. But his podcast was amazing. So I'll send you a link to the podcast. And so I think that style might really work. And so they're done, but they're still out there. Like John was saying, he's got 1,000 podcasts and people still pick up episode 200 or something. I think his style might work great. And certainly his philosophy and my philosophy are very in tune in terms of lead gen.
Okay.
So we could look at that. Now, I noticed you have paid LinkedIn status. Do you have Sales Navigator as well?
No.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure with the LinkedIn Premium if that included Sales Navigator. Now it doesn't, hey?
I don't think so. I haven't, like I say, Jonathan, I haven't focused on lead gen, and I just have to. And I don't know a thing about SEO. Do you do SEO?
Yes, we do. Oh my gosh, that's the main thing we do. Yeah. I mean, it's all about being known. Well, Lisa talks about this too. It's about what are you known for? And she gave a really good talk about that when we were all in the Sassy lunch. Debbie was in the other room, and she specifically said, if someone was to Google you or go on Facebook and ask for advice, would you come up? What are you known for? And that's one of the premises that we, funny enough, always build on. In fact, she did a test case of me and said, I'm known for speaking about online marketing and social media. And she said, you go to his website, you go anywhere, you'll find it, and there he is. Are you being found? So she actually then sold a virtual speak to sell course with Andrea J. Lee on just trying to get your virtual speak to sell talk for being known for what you are. So it's very interesting. So that's the first piece of what I like to do is like, what are you known for? Mm-hmm. And then bring that out so that when they arrive on your website or your LinkedIn or your podcast, they instantly know what it is they're going to get, and they're super interested to go deeper. And that's really my gift is getting to know people well enough so that I can help retell that story visually and obviously in words both for Google and for people, that you get that found. And many of our clients now rank on page 1 for 60 to 70 different keywords and phrases. Takes 6 to 9 months to kind of get that way. But once you're there and you keep it there, it's an amazing thing. So that's a lot of what we do. I'm not specifically an SEO expert in my brain. I understand the mechanics. I don't do it, but I have 2 total nerds who love SEO.
That's good.
And they do it for me, so that's fine. And then the other piece too is obviously you've got the strategy session down pat, because sometimes I have to spend quite a lot of time with people just helping them understand how that process works. But you got that, so that's fantastic. Okay.
It's like this. If I attract a qualified lead, I will close 90% of them.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I would say I'm at 85%. So you're beating me. So, but you're a sales professional, so
that's all I do, Jonathan. And that's actually, when you said, "What do I want to be known for?" Let's put it this way: the whole high producer sales playbook is something I should and can be doing, and it's high ticket. And if I'm going to replace people that pay me good money every single month, year after year after year, I need to have that high ticket just up and running. And I'll tell you, if I could sell 35 VIP days a year, I am thrilled. I want $500,000 of income to come from that revenue stream. But what do I want to be known for? Sales conversations, strategic sales conversations that convert. That's what I want to be known for. Now, unfortunately, that's not patentable or trademarkable.
Okay.
Rather.
Okay. But that's what you want to be known for. And that's fine. You don't have to trademark it. I mean, but yeah, it would be ideal. Yeah. Okay. I recently have several 6-figure clients now, and it's a wonderful thing. You know, the first time around, they started very small. We built a small program for one of them. They loved it so much they came back. We now have 7 different locations that we work with, and we literally have become their marketing department. And that's actually it's way over 6 figures now. I should actually calculate the net, because we bill them monthly. So where are we at with them? Yeah, they're on retainer now for 180,000.
That's awesome.
And
is that somebody corporate?
It's a corporate company that run a series of assisted living homes.
Okay.
So assisted living in Canada is a big business. It probably is in the States too. So they have some critical care 24-hour nursing stations as part of it, but typically it's assisted living where people downsize into really nice condos that have got full medical facilities nearby, laundry, catering, all the plant buttons, but still independent living.
Yeah.
And they're into this for several, I don't know, probably about $600 million worth of real estate. And a lot of it's government, private funding partnerships. And so that they get, the government will give them money to build and operate. And then they put their own capital into the building itself. And they're terrible market. They're a Dutch reform family, super good at what they do, but super shy, super media unconscious. You wouldn't even find them on Facebook personally. The dad has opened orphanages in Nicaragua, spends a lot of time down there. He put solar panels into this village. Just great people, but you would never know who they were. And they want to stay under the radar, and they realize they just can't. So my job in the last 2 years is to take them, so that when the government puts an RFP out now, it's like, oh yeah, H&H, yeah, I know those guys. Whereas before they did. So that's very much how I cut my teeth with those guys 3 years ago. And But now we can fast track that. So what's going through my head is the 6 weeks. That is incredibly tight for us to get this complete.
Is it tight for you to get a website up in 6 weeks?
No. With 5 on the roster right now, 2 of which, obviously you saw Donna's, she's quite a long way down the road. And I've got one other one I've got 2 other ones that are getting built in the next 3 weeks. But after that, so certainly by the end of June, Lindsay's on holiday the first week of July, but after that we could start it in parallel. It's tight, but let me see what workflow we could get into that. So that would be the first piece, is getting that website out there.
It is because, sorry, I have to text a reply to my daughter real quick. Okay. The reason I really want my website done is my husband's given me a list of about 25 contacts he has.
Oh, man.
He's been in the IT world forever, 30 years. VP of sales. He's actually been out of work for the last 7 months because his company got acquired, and it was the whole objective when he took it on, because he's brilliant with startups. And anyway, long story short, within 8 hours of the company, it was a Canadian company called OpenText that bought out his company in cybersecurity. And 8 hours later, they let go of anybody that reported directly to the CEO. So he was one of them.
Holy
So all the VPs were let go, including the CEO. I mean, fortunately, he had a lot of stock options that, immediately vested and whatnot. So that's been good, but now it's getting harrowing. But he knows a lot of people. Yes. So I can make those calls, you want
to be able to send them somewhere that looks like who you say you are.
I gotta have something. So I have just held back on making the calls in spite of what other people are going, well, just call them anyway. No, I'm just a little more buttoned up than that.
No,
so that's my sense of urgency. Am I steadfast? It's got to be done by week 6. No, but I don't want it to go crazy long either.
So what's the due date of the baby?
July 22nd.
And then you want to take 2 weeks off after that?
Well, my son-in-law is going to stay home 2 weeks, so I'll be the second 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be I'm guessing if she goes on time, I'll probably be somewhere in August.
Okay.
And it's not that I'm not going to be able to do stuff. I just am going to be super limited in what I'll choose to do, so I can focus on that time.
Yeah, we have 3 children. The first one came 2 weeks early. The second one came 2 weeks late, and the third one came 4 weeks early.
Wow.
Almost natural births, but yeah, I mean, you'd think you'd got it right by the second one, but and Ellie was late, and she just didn't want to come out at all and had to be induced. And then Maddie came way early. So, is she booked for a C-section, or is it just left up?
Natural. Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah. One of our clients, they're called the Birth Besties, and they have a podcast and marketing called Honest Birth Talks, and it's all about just let nature do its thing.
Yeah, right.
Because I think 40% of births now are planned through C-section. It's a very high number. The OBGYNs are just pushing people to make it suit them rather than the baby. And I should send you a link to those too. It'd be fun for your daughter to see their stuff.
Yeah,
what's your name?
My daughter?
Yeah.
Caitlin, Kaitlin.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I'll send you that link too. Okay. So website first, and then we got to look at the SEO piece.
Yep.
And then we got to look at the blog that ties into the podcast. and that whole sales conversation piece.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Okay. It's so funny because when we met on Thursday as a team, we said, okay, this is really clear. We're not going to take anybody else on until at least August, right? I went, nope, everything's fine. Except I do have a meeting with Jennifer on Monday morning, and I have a strong feeling from our conversations she's going to have to fast track. So okay, so we're not going to take anybody in August except. I went, okay.
I get it.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I've got notes. I got this video. I've got the link. So that's actually a working website on GoDaddy right now, right?
No. Not the one I sent you that link for. It's not published.
It's not, no, but it's accessible. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody would know it's there, but okay. But the content, a lot of the content's in there. Okay, so we can review that. Now, what about photography and stuff of you? Do you have much of that yet?
No, because I'm camera shy.
Okay, would you be up for some of that?
I could do that. Yeah.
It would make a big difference.
Okay.
Just because they're hiring you, they're not hiring a brand, and there is just you. So therefore, the more pictures that we have, I mean, do you have many pictures of you at work or with clients or anything like that at this point?
No, because it's so personal, and I just never think, oh, can we get a picture together? I just don't do it.
No, but it's something that we could stage.
Oh, 100%.
So you could get a couple of outfits that were your favorite, hair and makeup, and then we could stage that because it would really make a difference.
Yeah.
Because we just did that with Donna, and she did it with Stacy in San Diego, and they were just like, we just gave her all the poses that we were looking for, and we got them and more, and it was just fantastic. So, okay, right, yes, okay. So I think I told you last time some prices and the kind of work that we do, right?
A little. You were just talking about what you were doing for somebody. I think it was Jennifer
Patterson, yeah. So this is exactly what we did for her. So cross-border living. So Jennifer came to us. She had one second, I'll just share my screen. So she had a website which was Patterson. This is what she came to us with, which was her company, and they're based in Bermuda. They're financial planners for Americans who work as expats.
I remember that.
Still live in America, but also live in Beijing, China, or Switzerland, Zurich, Switzerland. So they don't want to be dual. They have to be dual tax, but they want to mitigate the dual tax. So that's what they do really well. And you can see the website is kind of like, yeah.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah. So what we did was we created this one. And again, the pictures really made it. This is her husband, Jeff. In fact, she joined Sassy at the same time you did.
Yeah, I know them. We talked a lot.
Oh, okay, perfect. So what we did with Jennifer was we redid her logo. She had a logo. So we made it, because she was very much about this yin-yang thing, but also the globe. And we didn't want this to look like a tennis ball, but we didn't want it to be too woo, because she's all about balance in life, interestingly. So this is what we did. And then she also had a book that she was launching. That she launched in The Hague in Holland at the World Trade Center for this international tax planning. So she had a deadline for the book. So we helped her with the cover of the book, and we did all the illustrations within the book. And then, sorry?
No, I coughed. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So that was an urgency piece to it. And then, so this was the event that she was at. She's now in tax season, so she's had no time to do anything more, but she wanted, when she spoke, to come over super well and to be a very credible looking business, which she actually was. Just she didn't look it online. So this is stage one of the website. There's a lot more we will do with this, but she wanted to be at a point where if someone Googled her online and went to this website, or when the book came out, And she has become an international bestseller. So this website's light. This is like version 1, but it's super well built, and it's certainly going to be a lot better. Well, she loves it. That's the main thing. I love my website. And when I hear people say that, I know that they'll sell because they're very comfortable about people arriving, where they are. So she had a lot of restrictions because of financial planning and not being able to sort of say certain things. So that's what we worked with Jennifer on, and I'm doing that now with Donna, and I'm also doing it with 2 other people at this concurrently. So what we found is when we can come alongside somebody and really get to know them from the back end, and then really help write the front end, but also come up with that very strong visual, and then build in the SEO piece, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And it's a working model. I mean, I just did my A90 workshop day with Lisa Sasevich. So this year, rather than going Platinum Elite, I did A90 with Lisa instead, rather than going Diamond. And her and I literally just masterminded this done for you package, and just whether this was something that I thought, was the right route for me to go on top of the group programs that we teach. So very similar to what you're trying to do about getting that VIP day and then bringing people through and turning it into a 100K relationship. This is nowhere near 100K, but this is very much around a partnership, so that once we've built the solid website, then all the other pieces sort of flow as and when time and budget allows. So yes. So that was the one I was talking about. So Jennifer, I'll tell you, it was a $25,000 investment, partially because we had a lot. We literally had 6 weeks from start to finish to get this done, which was very tight, but we did it. Mainly because of the book, and we had 30, I think we did 68 illustrations for the book, and we had to get them in and get them to the publisher, and that was really the tight time. The website wasn't too hard once we got the pictures, because she had good content, and you've got good content. And we did that in stages as well, over 3 payments, I think, as well, over the three months that we worked together initially, and then we're going to do more. And she's just got to get out of tax season, and although I don't know if she ever will, because every country has different taxes.
Right.
Okay.
So obviously, I don't have the book or what are we looking at to launch with the website? Obviously, I'm not going to be a one and done here.
Yeah.
But what are we looking at to get this website launched?
So website plus graphics, and then you would get the pictures, but the content is pretty much there, right?
I would, like I said, I think 80%. There's the page 2, when you click learn more, I need a little help with, but
yeah,
I'm going to keep it pretty simple, because I basically want everything on my website to drive to the conversation, because this isn't the type of thing people are going to click and buy.
No, for sure. No, and this would be the first stage. Probably about around the 10K mark, I would say, to get it incredible and integrate it all for SEO. Would typically be a number. Just rereading this again here. Website plus graphics plus pictures. Content 80% done. Time and graphics. See, Donna also did our 10-week content marketing course, so we got to know her for 10 weeks before we built the website, so there wasn't a lot of time we had to spend one-on-one, which you and I need to do very quickly, which we can. Does that number sound doable?
Yeah, I mean, it's on the high side compared to the people that did Lisa Sasevich's website, Solmar. I think they were $7,500 for the website.
Really? Mm-hmm. That took them a year to build that,
No, to do mine.
Sorry,
Lisa Cherney gave me the people that did Lisa Sasevich's website.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. Yes. I was going to say Lisa didn't pay $7,500 for that website.
No. But
So Mark quoted you $7,500.
Correct. But I know they don't do SEO.
Yeah, and that's almost 40% of the website you don't see, which is setting up the back end for SEO, which is typically a package that we charge. So some people want a website to look great, and some people want a website that looks great and works. And I don't sell look great websites. I only sell websites that work.
Yeah, I need it to work.
So that's the big SEO piece that goes in, because we do a lot of keyword analysis before we start. So we'll take your website currently and see how Google ranks you for keywords. And then we'll pick 3 or 4 people that you know in that space. And then we run the keywords on their websites as well. We have this program from a company called Bruce Clay. It's a $25,000 a year license to get the software, but it literally extracts every keyword that Google finds in that website that's relevant.
Okay.
We then go back and say, okay. And then we put those words into the alt tags and the meta descriptions and say all of the stuff that you don't see, but it makes a big difference for Google search. And then we work on that on a monthly basis, continually looking at what's working, what's not firing. And we take a couple of months to do that. And then once we know what's working, then we keep adding those keywords into blogs and into the description so that really sort of it really stands out. I mean, I could have said 8 without SEO, but that's why it's 10, because and that's literally a hard cost to me to sort of program all of that in, but it makes a big difference.
Okay.
I mean, we can build it and then add SEO later on, but it's much better to do it all at once.
No, I want to do it all at once, Jonathan.
Yeah, no, you should.
Okay. So let's do it.
Oh my gosh. First deal of the day. Well, actually second.
Yeah, let's just do it. I have to get this done. I'm tired of monkeying around.
Okay.
And, as long as we've got SEO in this, I'm cool.
Oh yeah. That's a big piece. So do you know a photographer?
Oh, yeah, a couple of them.
Okay. When are you home again?
Let's just say this week is pretty out for me because I'm home tomorrow evening, but leave again on Friday.
Okay.
So just even the possibility of I'm going to have to reach out to the 2 I know and see who's got some imminent availability.
Because apart from the SEO piece, we like to build a website around the photographs because my designer gets a lot of energy from the image.
Yep.
So typically we start with the content that we already have and the photographs, and then we build around that.
Okay.
Because of the personality piece, the website is very much an extension of you. So, I mean, Dory just got her pictures taken Friday. Mary got her pictures taken. I just got them last night. And as soon as I got those pictures, it's like, oh my gosh, okay, I know exactly what this website should look like. Realistically, if we were to send you an exact spec of what kind of pictures we would need and situations to take those pictures, timeline-wise, what could be possible?
Well, obviously, I'm not privy to the photography because photographers, so I don't know their schedule. I would. Let's just see here. Can you tell me what is ideal on your end, and I'll try and work.
Okay, so we are on June 11. If it was possible to get them by like the 25th of June?
I was going to originally say the 29th.
Okay, well.
But I'll, what I will do, because once again, I'm out of town the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th.
Okay.
So I will make a couple of phone calls about how many, because they're going to ask me.
Ideally, we need like 10 shots. So there will be, obviously you have a great headshot, which is current. So it would be pictures of you, typically how you would be coaching. So obviously you're going to do like the online strategy call. So a picture of you in your office setting or an office setting with either a podcast microphone or earbuds or however that might look, probably both. Picture of you sort of ideally on site meaning a type of client in that corporate setting. So it may be that we go to a shared workspace and tie that up and we bring some people in who are friends or ideal clients, and we set that round table set up so it's not stock, it's you, so they can see that. And then some lifestyle pictures. Obviously, if you've got some family shots, you and your husband, the family, if there's any other sports or any hobby things that you like to do, they all become part of who you are. I mean, you've probably got a picture of you and Lisa, I would guess, out of.
Oh, I hate how I look in it. It's the worst picture.
Oh, no worries then. Don't worry if because sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. I find that the photographer who chooses now is very short, and I've noticed a lot of the pictures she's taking, everybody has double chins because she's looking up, whereas Stacy always looked down.
Oh, see, that's a way better. Yeah, you're right, because I don't look.
Debbie's picture, she hates you. Don't you dare share that picture. It looks like I put on 50 pounds just because.
Exactly. That's how I look.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you like to do for fun?
Well, we do a lot of boating.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we have a lake house. So fun for me is absolutely a day on the boat. I golf.
Okay. Is a lake house nearby?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only an hour away.
Oh my gosh. Yes, in that case, I mean, the more we get to know each other, the more I could say, oh, could I get a picture of? And they don't have to be studio quality. Some of these are just what makes you, you. Because that's what people hire you for, is just the fact that you've been successful, you and your husband are a power couple, you've been able to buy your own property, you love to play golf. I mean, these are not things that people can do easily. So the fact that you've achieved that lifestyle, it's like, well, she can do it for herself, she can do it for me.
Now, do you still think that that's powerful, knowing my ideal client likely owns a company that's doing 50 million and up with at least 6 salespeople?
So he's probably way further up the food chain in net wealth.
Could be. I mean, I will tell you, Jonathan, I had $100 million company I built. I did.
Bless your heart.
We lost almost all of the money in the crash of 09. Was it 08, 09?
Yep.
Just had the money in the wrong things. But yeah, I started a sales company, manufacturer's rep business, in 1987.
You got married.
What's that?
I got married.
Oh, okay. And I sold to the 2 partners I acquired in the end of 1999, and we did $113 million that year. So I have, a story.
You sure do. Yeah, I mean, I lost all my business in 2008 because almost every client that I got stopped spending money on marketing. And despite my best efforts trying to tell everybody this is actually the time to spend more money on marketing.
Yeah. I remember that. Yep. That's why I switched that year to solely focus on the sales department, because I could get people's attention. They didn't care about operations. It was, we got to sell more.
Yeah.
So that was strategic.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I am with you. Yeah.
So it's like this, and it's the only reason I brought it up, that from a business perspective today, yes, a $50 million company is far exceeding what I do, but I've been where they are. I've achieved that. You know what I mean? So,
yes.
And I can speak to the plateaus and how I overcame them, all those types of things. But at the end of the day, the big story is sales is the engine. And if you don't have top talent in that department, it's making it very difficult to grow the business.
Yeah, I'm so glad I'm recording all this. This is great. Okay.
My husband's been a VP of sales forever, so we're very much a sales couple, although he's not in my business.
Okay. What's his name, by the way?
Jeff.
With a J?
JEFF. Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was no, it doesn't matter. No. Totally wrong story to tell. Okay. So he's actively out there looking as well, I'm guessing.
Actually, he has what we hope is a final interview tomorrow with an Australian company.
Oh, wonderful.
But it's like at that level, you don't hear about jobs. You don't just,
No.
I mean, there are some on LinkedIn, but they're not the quality.
No, they're through headhunting people, because typically people are already in a great job when you try and find them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I understand that very much. So I spend quite a lot of time with my clients trying to find them the ideal person by being that I did it on Friday night, making a call to a really top selling person from a competitive company just to see if she'd be interested in, and she knows me through Instagram, and a lot of people follow me in the local area, because of my social media. So I know them and I know where they work. And then I zone in on top talent, and I don't poach it, but if there is a disease and they're not comfortable, I just say, would you be open to a conversation around a different way of doing things? And invariably they always are. And then I often broker, I brokered many people into companies for that very reason. So I get it. Okay. Let me jump into action here.
Yeah, that's my big thing. I want to make sure the photographs that I'm going to be directing somebody to do are speaking to the ideal client I have, as opposed to the very small business owner per se.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, no, we'll get that.
The small business owner is going to be a huge target for strategic conversations that convert.
Very much so. And that's the second piece. And that, when we bring the podcast piece into that, that's a whole different, so maybe, I'll check with Lindsay. I mean, this is her expertise on our team, very specific. And that's why the pictures you saw of Donna and stuff, it's very much what Lindsay and Donna put together. So Lindsay, you wouldn't have met Lindsay. She came with me the previous Vegas event. She's going to be at the retreat in Dallas, which I'm not, because it's the week of our daughter's wedding. So I'm actually not, but Lindsay's going instead. She's worked for me for 7 years. And
good. Well, I may or may not be there. It just depends on my daughter delivering, because I will be in Indianapolis for that, for sure. So I'll have everything booked, but.
No, I get it. Yeah. I remember those days all too well. And now my 25-year-old's getting married on 38 days. So I remember. That's
awesome. That was one of the happiest days of my life when my daughter got married.
Really?
Yeah, it exceeded like my own wedding. And it was more about experiencing, well, first of all, seeing it all come together that day. Like, you plan this, you plan that, and then it all comes together that day. But it was experiencing the joy and magic that was like in my daughter's eyes and heart. It was indescribable. And to be able to witness that and be in it, it was, like literally one of the best days of my life.
I'm so happy to hear that, because Debbie's been pretty stressed out because our daughter lives on a yacht. She's sailing all over the world, and Debbie's been organizing so much of it, and it's been a lot of work.
Well, tell her, I mean, that happened for me, because Caitlin was living in California at the time, and the wedding was in Indianapolis. So I did 90% of it.
Yeah.
And I was out of my mind stressed with, but I would do it again in a heartbeat, because that day, and I just told myself, well, first of all, I hired somebody to be there that day as the contact person, like a day of coordinator.
Yeah.
And I said, unless somebody's going to get hurt, there's a catastrophic event of something or of some sort, I don't even want to know if something's going wrong. I just take
care of it.
Fix it, solve it, or go with the flow, because nothing's going to interfere with how I feel that day. And that's what I was.
That's awesome.
So awesome. Yeah.
And do you have any other children?
I have one other daughter. She'll be 25 this month.
Oh.
So they are the core of my being. I am a very, very dedicated family person that will go to the end of the earth, and not just for my kids and my husband, but my parents, my extended family. I'm kind of known as the matriarch of the family. And Jeff and I have been married. It'll be 34 years in July 7th.
Good for you. You're beating me. And your other daughter's name is?
Kristen, Kristen.
Kristen and Caitlin. So I have Gemma, Ellen, and Maddie.
Oh, very nice.
And they sit and look at me every day.
So they're beautiful.
They're all blondies like their mom. So.
Yeah, same here. Which one of those three is getting married?
Oh, sorry. The middle one.
Okay.
Yeah. So Gemma's the eldest. Ellen's the middle one, and Maddie's the youngest.
Got it.
So Gemma's been in private yachting for 7 years. Ellen's just come back. She just spent 4 years overseas with a mission organization, actually based out of Australia, and an organization called YWAM, which is Youth with a Mission.
Oh, neat.
So she's 22 and Maddie's 20, and she's working at a healthcare center. She runs a front desk, very, very vibrant client of ours, and they can't slow their growth down. It's insane.
Wow, that's a good
Maddie
place.
actually manages all the front desk, which is, for most people, would be overwhelming, but for Maddie, it's just like, bring it on. So,
yeah, right.
she didn't do school, extended education. She just went straight to work, and this has been a great job for her. Whereas Ellie's doing school now, but by correspondence, and she actually works at our local church as in the youth department right now. So it's very much her thing. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good for you.
What does Kristen do?
Ironically, she's sitting in an interview right now because she wants to change her career.
Oh, wow.
She got a degree in journalism, and it was very hard finding any work. Like, she really wanted to get into broadcast journalism. Hard to break into. She was anxious to get out on her own feet, and so Jeff and I encouraged her to go into sales.
Mm-hmm.
And she's hated every minute of it.
Oh, no.
So it's just time. So she's actually, like, literally in 3 minutes, her final interview starts.
Yes.
And it's a total career change. She's, in fact, trying to become, it's called a community associate. You said shared office space. There's a huge one in Chicago called WeWork. And that's what she's interviewing for. And I've been praying all morning because I think it's the perfect role for her. It's just, she's interviewed for some other jobs. And I'm like, Kristen, that is a very data-driven job. Yeah. This one is so on the creative side and event planning, and it's just the way her brain's wired.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that sounds like.
And my oldest daughter, the one having the baby, is a speech pathologist.
Really?
Yes.
I worked with a speech pathologist in DC. Her name was Haley Birkin. And she's created an incredible model. She's now on her second baby, but her business model is amazing around what she teaches.
Cool.
I wonder if they know each other.
I don't think so. Yeah.
That's very, very cool. Good for you. Well, I hope it works well. I'll pray too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Incidentally, Lindsay has a journalism degree. That's how she started. She got it from the University of Victoria. And even before she finished her degree, she was thinking, the landscape's changing. So she went into graphic design as well. And so she's a great writer, but she's also very creative, which is why she's our head of web development.
Got it. Okay.
And she teaches our content marketing course, which is all about the content of the website through the blog and LinkedIn articles. And you'll love her.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. I need to get things moving. So the company name for invoicing is...
you can either, so I have a DBA. So my corporate name is Hindsight, HINESIGHT, Inc.,
Yeah.
doing business as Accelerated Sales and Leadership. So it doesn't matter.
Okay, so Hindsight Inc. is a company.
Yep.
Okay, we can do that.
And then, Jonathan, do you take Amex by chance or not?
I don't. You can do Amex through PayPal, but I don't.
Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, because I just like the points. That's all.
Yeah, Susan did the same. in Canada, I don't know why. It's not well used in Canada.
Oh, okay.
And I inquired about it, and it's quite expensive for me.
Yeah.
$300 a year merchant fee, and then it's over 3%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, whereas I have 1.27 or something with Visa or MasterCard, and $10 a month merchant fee. So, but yeah, you can, if I send you a PayPal link, you can use your Amex for that. No trouble
Maybe
at
I
all.
will. Yeah, maybe I will.
Yeah, no, for sure we can do that. But as we don't as a company. For that reason, I mean, you're probably the third person in 5 years to ask me if I do Amex.
Okay.
But I get it, and I know why.
Now, could you break that out into maybe two?
Yeah, I was going to say we normally do it in 2 payments, so
that would be good. I like, a start
5
deposit.
to start and then 5 to.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's exactly how we do it. I did Jennifer's, the other Jennifer, over 3 because it was over 3 months that we ended up finishing it. But no, typically this will be 2. Okay. Well, I'm hoping you're going to get very good news today.
Yes, I need good news today and tomorrow, Jonathan. It's been very stressful, so.
Okay, I'm with you.
But you know what? All I keep doing now is thank you, God, for the blessing of Kristen's new job and Jeff's new job. So I'm being very.
Power of intention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that every morning before I get up. I used to come downstairs and do it quiet time, but now I like the comfort of our bed as well. So I have half of my meditation before I even get up now.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. This is great, exciting.
All right. Well, I'll put some calls out to and you know what, with these photographs, Jonathan, because I know somebody else that is he freelances as a videographer, but he also takes good pictures. Yeah. There's professional, as in, one of the ladies I know is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need super airbrush, high Photoshop, editing or anything. I just need to capture essence.
Got it.
We'll send you some sites of ideas of sites that we've used once we get an idea of the look that we're going to put together. And then Lindsay has like a guideline sheet specifically for different sizes of headers for your LinkedIn profile header and the website, what they call hero images. And if you know him and he knows you and he just gets who you are, that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Yay.
All right, then.
Message me with that good news, okay?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
And so you'll send me the invoice, but you're going to also send me, do you have a checklist or anything?
Absolutely, we do. That'll all kick in. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you so very much.
Jonathan, thanks for all your time.
You're so welcome. See you soon.
Okay, have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye for now.
Okay, bye-bye.